Hi everybody, welcome to Quarter Inch Seam, and it is day 2. I know, can you believe it? I can't believe we've already lasted 2 days. Okay, so welcome to Quarter Inch Seam, welcome to my sewing room. I have lots of stuff to tell you today. And a preview, if you will, of what we're gonna do for the next month and why I'm saying a month. And we're gonna sew. Now, Steve and I were talking earlier today, and he was like, let's just do like a schedule of different things, you know, so you have all these projects that you can do, right? And I had also talked about wanting to do like a project a day. And so we are gonna do that. However, today, we're gonna finish the butterfly quilt. So I'm gonna sew and talk while you sew and listen. No, just kidding. You can talk back. It's okay. I can take it. I'm strong. Anyway, so thank you to everybody for joining on the first day and for all the excitement. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I will tell you this. It is giving me great anxiety. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. It is giving me great anxiety, but it is giving me great, I don't want to say excitement again, because I've said excitement about 700 times the last day and a half, but anticipation, or I don't know, like, I've never lost my love for sewing, or I've never not been excited to sew or do whatever. Oh, there was a window open and I've got little gnats that are driving me bananas. Hopefully that was the last one. Anyway, but you know, sometimes you think about sewing or being in your whatever your craft room is. I mean, I don't know if you're sewing today or if you're crocheting. I would love to crochet with you guys, but here's the problem with crocheting. It's a kind of a slower process, and it's just a slower process. And I don't know, you'll have to let me know in the comments, like if you want to sit and watch me crochet. I don't know, it's very, very relaxing for me. I find it very relaxing. I never have time to crochet anymore. I feel like now I have multiple different crafts and things and hobbies that I like to do, that the crocheting, I don't know, I used to do it in the car, but now when we're in the car, Minnie always sits on my lap, and it's hard. Like, I feel it's just hard to find any little time to be able to do that. So, I don't know. And then I read a lot, so there you go. Anyway, okay, back to the point. We're gonna finish this rag quilt, and thank you to everybody in the comments who said, because I ended up with these 4 pieces that were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're starting 6 rows across, which I think then does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 8 rows down. So I'm gonna go with that. You know, it's not gonna be much smaller than this. Like if you were laying on your couch or whatever. Like that's kinda, I don't know. Maybe it's not wide enough. We're gonna start there. Oh, so anyway, so I had those 4 squares that were different, that were weird butterflies. The butterflies were just a little bit different. The patterns, just, they must have changed the pattern to the, it's not felt, it's flannel. That was scary there for a minute. Yeah, hello. So somebody had said, you know, just mix them in, and somebody else had said, let me see if I can find the comments. Most people said nobody's gonna notice. Nobody's gonna notice. Who's gonna notice? Nobody's gonna notice. And just scatter them in. In fact, lots of people said, just scatter them in. So I'm just going to scatter them wherever they're at, wherever they are. Okay, so 6 across, 8 down. Okay, so I'm going to sew and talk while we do that. And the only reason I'm doing this quilt, working on this project again today, is because I have a bunch of projects that we're going to do. And we're going to try and do a project a day. That's what we're going to try and do. That's what we're going to try and do? I should say that differently. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a project today, and I'm doing like, it's like a scant 1/4 inch on this thing. This is that butterfly rag quilt that I've been trying to finish. So we're just going to sew as much of this on this one today as we can and try and get this done. So that I can be done with this one. Because throughout the next month, here's my plan. I want to do a project a day with you. Like easy, simple. We talked about this. Like this was the whole kind of motivation for the, project, for doing this in the first place, was just to be able to get a bunch of sewing time in. Well, and chatter. Can't sit in the sewing room if you can't chit chatter a little bit, right? So, so here's some of the stuff. This is just a sampling of the things that I've come up with. So one of the things that we're gonna do is, and I'm probably gonna do this one quick because mine are all getting just ragged. And they're, like sometimes you can find them cheap, but sometimes they get a little bit pricey. And now they have these ones that are like infused with keratin and whatever. Is we're gonna do some cool placemats. We're gonna do a hair towel. Have you ever done those twisty towels, I'm excited about that. Why am I excited about that? I don't know. I just think that it's something that I need, it's something that I use, and I already bought the terry cloth for it. So that's gonna be relatively quick. I've got to mix these odd ones in so they're not all in one row. So hang on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so there's 6, and they have one different one. Okay? And then, is this a different one? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So that's the plan. Is I want to do a hair towel. I want to do. Okay, I have fun stuff planned. I'm going to try and put together a plan so that it's not wonky, because I don't want the next 30 days to just be like totally randomness. We want to get some stuff done, right? So I was actually organized enough, which right now, let me just finish this one thought. Tote bag, we're going to do another book cover. I finished the book cover and it fits on another book. Oh my god, it's so adorable. A little doggy sweatshirt for Minnie. A picnic blanket like the one that I've shown you. There's a couple of quilt blocks that I don't know if I have the stamina to do like the whole quilt, but I wanted to do a couple of the blocks. That would be kind of fun. Apron, bowl cozy. A little doggy placemat, which I'll explain. A makeup bag, a pencil case, a golf ball holder, a little tea holder for your for a golf bag, lunch bag, pan holder, pie holder, cord holder. I have a good pattern for a cord holder. Pillowcase, bed runner, couple of pillows, phone pouch, a jelly roll race, mug rug, phone pouch, wall hanging, a yard flag, an apron. Did I say apron? Yeah, I think that's all of them. So, I mean, that's most of them. I don't know if there's 30 there. I have to count them up tonight. So, that's the plan, is to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The plan is to just get through a bunch of different small projects that we can do together, or that you can do, you know, the next day, or do whenever, or you can just sit and watch, you know, whatever floats your boat. Absolutely whatever floats your boat. Because this is supposed to be fun. And here's the decision that I made, and I literally made this decision tonight. So, this afternoon. I have a tendency sometimes, wow, that was a little bit crooked. Oh well. I have a tendency, Angela, there's 6. How many times do you have to count them? Oops, almost did that wrong. I almost did it wrong. I have a tendency to get myself really wired. And a lot of times it's just because of business, right? It's because of work, whatever. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of stuff that we're working on, you know, just in life, like everybody, right? Everybody's wired and stressed and has 10 things too many going on. And it makes you feel like you don't get any time to do the things that you want to do. And then you start to get resentful. Like, you know, if you're a mom, I'm not a mom, but I've been kind of in the mom role, which is a whole other story. I'll tell you on another day. And it's just, look, it's hard. It's hard to keep everybody, on track, you know, with all the things that have to get done. And then because you feel like you have so many things that have to get done, like, where do you find the time to do anything that you want to do? And I was in the car this afternoon, and I was like, this is not one day. We've done one day. I was like, this is not going to work. It's not, there's no way. 3, 4, 5, 6. For the 17th time, in case you were wondering, there are 6. I'm not going to clip them. Sometimes I just want to see how it's going to look, and so I just clip a little bit. But what I am going to do, hopefully tonight, I hope, is order the spring-loaded snips. Have you seen those? They're the little tiny, they look like gardening little gardening shears, the short needle, but they're spring-loaded. And I saw them at Hobby Lobby, and I've seen them online, and both of my Joann's have been, like, that kind of stuff has really is starting to get really picked over. Like, there's not a whole lot left. They didn't have any more spring-loaded shears left. Excuse me. I have a terrible sinus infection right now. I think it's a sinus infection. Allergy infection. I don't know what it is. But my allergies and my sinuses, I think it's a sinus infection, are just throbbing. Unbelievable headaches the last couple of days, and it happens every year. And I do the same things to kind of mitigate it, but it is what it is, and it's just miserable. It's just miserable. Anyway, so back to. How come you didn't say anything? I almost did it again. Okay. Anyway, and so I was really kind of beating myself up, because I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to go and sew for an hour a day? You know, last year I don't think I got to sew like a full hour a month. I just found it really hard to carve out that time when I felt like I should be doing the laundry or doing the taxes or doing whatever else had to be done. So I don't know if you feel that way. Like, sometimes it's just hard. And then sometimes you do take the time to come in and, like, do something fun like this, and you don't get to finish it. Like, it just sits unfinished. So, wrong sides together, wrong sides together. So then I slapped myself around a little bit this afternoon, and I was like, you know what? If you can't go do this one thing for an hour, And so, as we are on day 2, not to get weepy, because I'm always the emotional one. Look, I cried at Hallmark commercials. I cried at SPCA commercials. Hobby Lobby every Christmas, their commercial. She made the blanket for the sheep like 2 years ago. Bawled my eyes out. Budweiser after 9/11. Oh my God. So, at the risk of getting emotional, if you're super crazy busy and you're feeling like, you know, how are you going to do? I don't know what's happening here. Getting a haircut tomorrow. So like, you can take the time. You know, even if you can't do it for a whole hour, come sit with me for a half hour. Because it's really important to just do a little thing for yourself. It just really is. And there's no awards for, well, I mean, maybe there is somewhere some sort of an award. There probably is some sort of a Nobel Peace Award for people who never do anything to take that time for themselves. I'm not talking about going and getting, you know, fancy nails done or pedicure or whatever, or, you know, fancy hairdos. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about just taking a little bit of time to do something fun that you enjoy. And even if you can't do it every day, you have to take that time, because like today, literally, I was just so overwhelmed. Like, all of a sudden, I was so overwhelmed. And I said to myself, don't spend every video talking about all the crap you have to deal with. And here I am talking about the crap I have to deal with. Anyway, so I just snapped myself out of it. And I was like, you know what, and I will say this, like, having to do, having to carve out the time, you know, to come and do this makes you more focused in some of the other things that you have to do. Like, I was out running errands today, and I was like, man, you know, you just gotta hit it. You gotta hit it, keep moving. Like, I'm feeling like I'm trying to get more organized in other areas of my life to make sure that I have this time to carve out for myself. I'm so excited about this little blanket. Here's something else that I want to tackle, before I move on to my next thought. Originally, I had talked about, I found these clippers. I told you guys that I just don't like how the blades move. Does anybody know why that is? Why do those blades move so far apart? Can you see in there? Watch really careful. I can't really see it. Look at how much that blade moves away from each other. And it's almost like, I don't know. I know I had a screwdriver in here somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. I'm gonna have to see about that, because what happens is when you go to cut something, inevitably the blades are just a little too separated, and if they're too separated, too far away from each other, they don't really like cut. Oh, please let those things work, because I love the little thing. I love that little notch for your finger. I love it. Okay, hey, we are just humming along on this thing. 3 rows done. I had originally talked about doing a year. Sew with me for a year. Sew with me every day for a year. And then when we released the video today, or yesterday, we said we're gonna sew together for 30 days. And here's why. If you guys, I want to do it because everybody loves doing it, because you love coming together for an hour a day, you know, to sew and have fun and to chat, and I don't know, you can use it as your wine hour if you like. Your seams might not be very straight, but who cares? Who's looking? Anyway. So if everybody likes it, then we'll continue it on, and we'll do another 30 days, or we'll do another 90 days, or whatever. But if if everybody's really, if everybody's engaged and everybody's subscribing and everybody's commenting, and everybody's showing up, I'll do it for the whole year. You know it, baby. An hour a day. Can you imagine all the stuff that we would have sewn? Can you imagine all the fun we'd have? I think it'd be a blast. Okay, so what else is going on? So that's why it's 30 days. We're going to start with 30 days. We're going to do 30 projects in 30 days and see how we're doing. Tonight I got to get this little spring-loaded snips so that we can finish the rag quilt. And for those of you that have never made a rag quilt before, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of tutorials on rag quilts. This is not a tutorial. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Angela. This is 1/4 inch seam. This is my sewing room. It's a hot mess. I clean it, I organize it, and then I start working on things and it becomes a hot mess again. This is not a tutorial channel. I don't anticipate that I'm going to teach you anything. Most of the time I'm asking you for answers on things. So the chance of you learning anything unique and different here is slim. So be prepared. But what I can guarantee you is that you're going to have a fun time. Because we're just going to sit and chat. So get a cup of tea, get your favorite soda or pop or whatever you call it, or juice, or adult juice. Look, turn this on in the evening. Have a glass of wine, do a little sewing, shoot the crap with me for a little bit. It's all good. We're going to come here for an hour a day. I hope you'll like and subscribe and share the channel with somebody else that likes to sew or crochet. I love to crochet. We don't really crochet much on the channel. And invite them to come join this quirky thing where we're not really teaching anything. I'm not sharing unique patterns or teaching you how to sew. If you're super beginner, you'll probably find some, minuscule amount of new knowledge here. Maybe not. But you can get that in a lot of places. Like there's lots and lots of tutorials, and everybody's teaching something, and sometimes I get overwhelmed with the tutorial. I get overwhelmed with the teaching. Like I find myself sitting there watching the tutorial. I don't know, and there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do that or start that project. And sometimes I get a little frustrated because it's like just one more pattern to add to the bunch that I'm not finishing, that I'm not even sewing. So what I always wanted this channel to be about was just so that you would come here and sit with me in my sewing room and sew and chat. It's my favorite thing. I love it. 2, 3, 4. I'm a little OCD. I'm a little OCD when it comes to counting. I'm a little OCD, it seems. I don't trust sometimes my own memory. And so, like we'll go on road trips or whatever, and we'll be in the car. And I will be staring at the instructions, the directions. I'll stare at the directions and I'll read them like okay, turn right at West 1st Street, then left at 2nd Street. Okay, so turn right, and I will go over and over and over in my brain. It's probably some version of being obsessive compulsive. But I do the same thing when I quilt sometimes. Like I have to count the pieces. Oh my god. I sew one piece, I have to count again. So anyway, it's not really a tutorial channel, but again, you might pick up some new little quirky tip or a fun project. Like you might be inspired to do a particular project and see, I'm doing it again. Might motivate you. I don't know. I have a bunch of projects that I also am trying to finish. So hopefully we'll be able to get to some of those. Oops. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. That was weird. Okay. So this is a rag quilt, and for those of you who don't know what a rag quilt is, it's sewn basically the opposite to what you would normally think. So instead of putting right sides together, instead of taking two pieces of fabric and putting them the right sides and sewing the right sides together, so that after you're done, the seam is hidden. The seam is back here, right? And that's what you see. A rag quilt, you put the wrong sides together, so you put the backs together, and then you sew. And what you end up with is all these, the seam is on the outside of the quilt, like you can see the seam. And then what you do is you take scissors, just regular old scissors. The first couple of rag quilts, oh, and I talked about that I was gonna order the spring-loaded snips, this little spring-loaded clips, scissors, only because I saw a bunch of people that were like, oh my gosh, it makes it so much easier and so much faster, and it's so much easier on your hand, and I am developing arthritis in my thumbs up here in this part of my hand. So Steve, his is worse than mine. And I don't think I can get through a lot of rag quilts, like having to lift that, you know, snip, 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 snip all 1,000 times. I think it would be easier with the little spring-loaded ones. But I've done probably 4 or 5 rag quilts in my day. In my day, I did like 4 or 5 rag quilts. I tried that Waterloo. Waterloo has, I love Waterloo. Sparkling water. I'm not sponsored. I love sparkling water of all kinds, I'll be honest with you. I buy the cheap stuff, the expensive stuff, Perrier, not Perrier, Waterloo, Bubbly, Arrowhead. Oh, I used to have Arrowhead. You don't really see much Arrowhead out here in Florida. Probably because it was a California thing. A little homesick this year. We're feeling a little homesick. We'd like to go back and visit, and we just haven't had the time. So anyway, back to the sparkling water. So Waterloo has, I'll buy the store brands. I'm not picky. I like a sparkling water because they're not sweetened. They have the flavor like an essence, but they're not sweet. And I can't do a lot of sweet. I just can't do it. So anyway, Waterloo has this new flavor, has like 2 or 3 new flavors out. I'm guessing they're for spring or for summer or whatever. And this one is spicy mango sorbet. And I saw the spicy and I was like, well, that's gonna be funky. But it's not. It just tastes like a mango, like a nice mango sparkling water. So if you like sparkling waters and you like, you know, if you like sparkling waters, the new Waterloo flavors, there's this one, there's like a blueberry cobbler, I think they called it. And then there's another one that I almost tried. I almost put this one back for that, and I don't remember what it was called. The Walmart. Yeah, we only have 2 stores in town. Well, actually we have 3 now. We have Aldi now. Anyway, I was at the Walmart, and I saw these. So if you like Waterloo, or if you like sparkling water, try them. Again, this message was not sponsored. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, back to the rag quilt. So in case you're wondering, that's usually what I have in my cup, but I have to be careful that I don't drink too many because it's too much carbonation. So I usually only have like 1 or 2 a day. And then I have regular water and coffee and hot tea. Anyway, my God. It's not wine. It's not wine, it gives me a headache. So then you sew a much bigger seam when you do a rag quilt. So this is like a good 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's a solid 1/2 inch. And then you take your scissors and you go through, and you have to be careful and you got to pay attention. You can't be like reading or looking away while you're trying to do this. You got to pay attention. So then you cut about a 1/2 inch apart. But you have to be careful that you only cut, that you don't cut into the seam that you sewed across. Right? You got to snip up just enough. Gosh, this sounds like teaching. You got to do it so you snip up just enough, but you don't cut up into the seam. Otherwise it's going to come apart. So then, once you've done all that and snipped all these damn things, you throw the quilt in the washing machine and you wash it on hot water. You don't wash the fabrics before. You wait and wash it after. And then what happens is all these little things, all these little confetti things get all like ribbony, you know, and all zhuzhed up. And it's so cute. It's so cute and it's so comfy and cozy. And I think they're great for kids. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made I have 2 nephews in Southern California that I did dinosaur. Oh my god, the cutest dinosaur. Adorable, and rag quilts in these greens and just really bright, fun colors with all kinds of different dinosaurs all over them. And my mom had written me or called me and told me that they loved to lay on the floor and watch TV and lay on top of them because they're really snuggly. And then I did one for my daughter-in-law when she had our youngest granddaughter, and I did a little rag quilt for her with these really adorable little like baby sayings. You know, it was really cute. Anyway, this one I'm putting on probably on my guest room. I thought this would be a good, in Florida it's weird. We live in Central Florida, and in Florida it's weird, and I'll tell you why. It gets hot as Hades outside, and when I say it gets hot, sister, you're not prepared for Florida hot. Let me just tell you. And if you're going through menopause or perimenopause, or you're having the occasional hot flash, you'll think someone set you on fire. You'll be looking to see who's holding the match. Anyway, so the problem is that because it gets so hot outside, there's a tendency, you know, especially if you're like our house where we're in and out all day long, then people turn the air conditioning down, sometimes too low. Publix. It's like a meat locker in that entire store. I look like a moron. Walmart's the same. I have the same problem. They turn the air conditioning so low that when I go in, you have to bring a sweater. So you look like an idiot. It's 95 degrees outside with 100% humidity. You're sweating like a sinner on Sunday, and you go into the grocery store carrying a sweater because as soon as you go in, your fingertips turn blue. You don't have to put the air conditioning to 55. Anyway, the same thing happens in my house in the summertime. Steve will be working outside and he's going in and out of the house, and he comes in and he finally stops for a few minutes. And he's so hot that his immediate reaction is to go over and crank the air conditioning down. Like we own Duke. Anyway. Now, I'm not the kind of person that likes to be uncomfortable in their house, so I know people that keep their air conditioning at like 80 degrees all year long. That's not me. I can't do that. I can't do 78 all year long. I can't do it. I'll suffocate. 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, so I thought that this would just be a nice thing to have, like, if you're sitting on the couch, or when my mom comes, we keep the house cooler than what she's normally used to. And again, because it's Florida. And so if you're like just relaxing or watching TV, or she's in there reading or whatever, it's nice to have something to throw over your legs. I'm so excited. Look how much we've gotten done. This thing's gonna... We are gonna actually get so much stuff done. So, I've got the terry cloth for the hair towel. I'm excited about the hair towel because I have been wanting to... I get tired of buying those things. And I thought was like, God, this is so easy to make. So, we're gonna make one of those probably tomorrow, is my guess. That I'm gonna... So, probably gonna start that tomorrow. Or do that tomorrow. And I'm hoping when I hop off of here that this thing's gonna be just about done. Because then, tomorrow, I can put it in the washing machine, and by the end of the week, I'll be able to show it to everybody. My other question is, what are you working on right now? Somebody had written me a really lovely email. Somebody had written me a really lovely email and said, she said, oh, I have so many half-done projects. Right? I have so many half-done projects too. And that's okay. Look, if you come and sew with me and sit with me in my sewing room a couple of times this month or every day this month, you know, after work, I mean, heck, put me on while you're cooking dinner. Speaking of dinner, oh my God. See, like again, that was, sometimes you just have to let go of things. So I worked, and then I had a bunch of errands that had to get done, so I ran out to do that, which always takes longer than you think it's going to take. And then I came home, and I needed to get on here and get this going, and I was going to make pork chops. And I just didn't have it. I just didn't have it in me. I just didn't have it in me. And we're not Steve's not a huge pizza person. I'm a big pizza person. I'm half Italian. So I love Italian food. I love it. But we don't have a lot of pizza. And my thighs do not love pizza. It's a shame. It's a real shame. And if anybody has seen my metabolism from when I was 27, if you could return it or direct it back to me, I would appreciate it. Because now I look at a pizza place and I gain 5 pounds. Anyway, and he came in and he was like, why don't we just order a pizza? Because I don't really see this whole like full course dinner, you know, and your video, and Minnie was hungry, and like those are the kind of days that, you know, those are the kind of days that I'm talking about. The just normal days, right? Not a crisis, just so much going on. And then you're trying to keep up with everything else. For those of you that have kids, especially nowadays, you know, you've got, it just seems like, you know, it seems like when I went to school, in the olden days, when we walked across the prairie to school, I didn't feel like my parents had quite as much to worry about. What do you think? This is not a political comment or commentary. I probably shouldn't even go down this road. But I don't know. Maybe that was good, maybe that was bad. But I just felt like my parents sent us to school and we learned school stuff, and that was about it. And now it just seems like if you have kids, there's not only so much to worry about when you take them to school, but with their friends and the drug. You know, I was around. I was, I guess, a teenager, early teenager. Oh, the bobbin! You're just not gonna let me finish it, are you? You're just not. Okay. Sorry, I changed the bobbin. But I felt like when we went to school, oh, that's what I was saying. When I was probably a teenager-ish. Maybe not even that old. I don't even think I was. I was a kid. Can we just leave it that I was a kid? Just leave it there. Okay, I was a kid. And there was the Just Say No campaigns, and the Don't Do Drugs, and the DARE programs. My dad was a police officer in Southern California for LAPD, and he did a lot of work with the DARE program. It was a big, I don't know if some of you may not know what I'm even talking about, and some of you might not remember it, but it was a big deal. You know, we were in the 80s, and the not just the drug culture, but it was out of control. You know, especially the cocaine culture was just, tell you what, it was jamming. It was a lot of drugs, and it was seeping its way really too quickly into the schools. And so, oh, that gnat is driving me bananas. And so I remember that. But I'll tell you what, I don't envy people who have kids nowadays and you're worried about things like prescription drugs, right? You're worried about, oops, hello, heroin. You're worried about, oh, you're probably not supposed to say. So they're talking about drugs, you know, but anyway. Oh, cripey. Well, I don't know that you're going to notice once it rags. Okay, so I forgot that when you are sewing a rag quilt, this will be a tutorial tip. When you are sewing a rag quilt, remember that you are sewing your, not only your top thread, but also your bobbin thread is going to show, because you're sewing everything onto the face, onto the front of your fabric. So, oh, that's funny. So when I started sewing, I used to try and have my bobbin thread the same color as my top thread. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm winding bobbins for like little projects that I'm never going to use, and I'm running out of bobbin casings because I've got all these like half-used bobbins. So I basically just use, sometimes I don't even change my thread color. I mean, sometimes I just leave my thread color, which is, I know, probably kind of kooky, but whatever. It's in there right. So the white, and I didn't even notice it until now, like my thread on this side is this really kind of light bluish color that is in the butterflies. Same color I used to make the X's on the fronts. But then the back is white. Well, I just changed, and now the bobbin color is kind of this butter color, a really, really light butter color. But you know what? I'm not going to change it because once this thing rags up, you're not going to see that side of the seam anyway. Nope. I'm not going to change it. Okay. So, anyway, my hats go off to you if you have kids, especially if you have kids in school, because it's hard. It's a lot. And we'll just leave it there. All right, now let's see if this, my bobbin on the last row, after I changed it, I don't know, didn't quite look. Let's just see. I can't believe, I will tell you this, it's amazing what, but it's not cutting. Okay, I gotta pull the bobbin out. I gotta pull the bobbin out one more time. I don't think it's threaded in there right. Okay, now I think it's right. The tension wasn't quite right. All right. Okay, what else was I going to tell you? So, tomorrow, we're going to make a hair towel. Are you so excited? And in amongst those 30 days, we are also going to work in more, I want to finish this diamonds squared quilt that was a Donna Jordan design, a Donna Jordan pattern. I want to finish that. So, because we lost Donna, you know, not long ago. And I didn't know Donna, but to lose a quilter. And she was, I liked a lot of her, there was a lot of methodicism with her stuff. And so, and I liked that. And then there were some other quilts that she did that there's another one that I have to find the pattern for that I am just in love with. And I can't even remember the name of it right now. So I'll try and find that one. But it's a quilt that you know, you tie. It's a tie quilt. It's not a machine quilt, pattern quilt thing. Okay, you're working my last. It's cute, huh? If I had little girls, if I had daughters, I think this would be cute. All right, home stretch. Last row. Here's the other reason that I am falling in love with this channel, with my own channel. Why I love my own YouTube channel. I just love it. Here's the other reason. Is because sometimes, you know, you start a project and then because you don't, I'm not going to use this bobbin. I think that this was a bobbin that came with the machine, and I don't know why I did that, because this thing's got a needle threader. Did I mention when I did the machine video channel, the whatever, that it's got a needle threader? That was a big thing for me. At first I didn't think it was a big thing for me because I was like, who cares, just thread, you can thread your needle. No, it's a big deal. So if your machine does not have a needle threader, I would highly encourage you, if you're looking at a new machine, to look at one that's got one. Because I think a lot of them have it now. I think even really relatively inexpensive machines have them now. Because it's a game changer. Especially as you get older. Like if you're young right now and you have, or you're not young and you have 20/20 vision, you have good vision now, you might not always. I can't see jack. Can't see it. Can't see. I find myself more and more, I should probably go to the eye doctor, putting my glasses on. Like I just can't, and if the light is low, oh God, forget it. So thirsty. Spicy mango sorbet by Waterloo. 3. We have 3 left. Oh my God, tomorrow I can put it together. Oh, that's what I was saying, is sometimes you lose interest in a project because it just takes forever. It takes so long, you know, like I would find myself, I don't know if others, if you've ever felt this way. I would find myself getting disgusted, like I'm just like, oh God, sick of looking at a project or sick of looking at a fabric or a pattern because it's just taking forever. Like it's been sitting on my machine for like 6 months. And then, you know, because there's so many tutorials and things out there, you find yourself like a new shiny object comes along and you're like, ooh, let's go sew that because that's new and exciting. And then you never finish the last project that you started. So I'm hoping in the next 30 days, in addition to, you know, working on some longer projects, I'm hoping that we can finish some shorter projects. And I'm hoping that if you're sitting at your machine sewing, you're getting some stuff done. Last square, and we're done. Can't believe this. I don't even think it's been a month since I started this. Like literally from like start cutting the fabric. I had the fabric for a year. And I always knew what I wanted to do. I just never sat down and actually did it. Okay, you ready? Ta-da! Okay, all 8 rows are done. Okay, so tomorrow I think we're gonna do the, I'll know for sure tomorrow, but tomorrow I think we're gonna do the hair towel, which I'm excited about. And I'm gonna finish, and then I'm gonna put the rows together on this thing, because then it can go in the, then I'll just, one night while I'm watching TV or whatever, I'll do the snips. And then we'll wash it and it'll be done. It'll be a blanket. It'll be an actual finished project by the weekend. Okay, it's blowing your mind, isn't it? I know. Okay. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is day number 2. Tomorrow is day number 3. I'm so excited. We're gonna knock these things out. And I love you guys. Have a great evening. And don't forget, only a 1/4 inch seam. Bye guys.